Kicking off with screenwriting. The screenplay was written by Anderson himself, and guess who? Owen Wilson. I was so excited to learn this, you don't even know. They met when they were going to university in Austin, Texas, and formed this totally miraculous dream team. Sadly, their first film, Bottle Rocket, was not a success. So they pulled another project, namely Rushmore, off of the back burner. They made it happen and basically launched their careers. It was also the film that established Anderson as an auteur. Something that really appealed to me about this film was its theatricality. One could easily argue that watching Rushmore is a lot like watching a play. And the artsy-fartsy storybook-like world that Wes Anderson creates around his larger-than-life characters only solidifies my point. I'll get more into this shortly when I discuss cinematography, but first let me tell you how the script achieves this. There's this age-old credo in the theater that suggests this notion of showing and not telling. True, we see this in the precise and deliberate nature of the dialogue in the script. But every scene sans dialogue is just as deliberate, and that is plain as day to see in the way that Anderson allows imagery and recurring themes to tell the story, using theater as a theme. Following the ever-famous montage that I will talk about really soon, we learned that our man Max, who is a 15-year-old overachiever, and I use the term lightly, was accepted into Rushmore Academy because of this really incredible play that he wrote about Watergate. Super bummed that we don't get to learn more about it, by the way. Out of the crazy amount of clubs that Max either established or leads, or both, theater kind of remains a constant creative plug for him throughout the film. Essentially, his relationship with Rushmore Academy begins with a play and ends with a play. Anderson also uses these really cool curtains that open at the beginning of each scene, which he establishes as months over the course of this pivotal year of Max's life. Of course, we do see themes other than theater. To name only a few: trees, leaves falling from trees, people jumping up from behind trees, trees falling and barely missing Bill Murray. There's sort of a maritime theme surrounding Miss Cross, whose husband drowned. When Max or Mr. Bloom spend time with Miss Cross, who they both end up falling in love with, we see themes of fertility. For Mr. Bloom, they are oftentimes surrounded by children. For Max, it's fish, because when you're a kid, the closest thing that you have to a child is a pet fish. Kites, bees, modes of transportation representing masculinity that must be dismantled in the cruelest and most unusual ways, or just home to incredible arguments.
I saved Latin. What did you ever do?
Max is also shown as an outsider, looking in as well, like when he sees Miss Cross for the first time behind her window door, or later when he taps on her bedroom window and feigns head trauma. So Wes Anderson works pretty exclusively with cinematographer Robert Yeoman. The cinematographer's job, as simplified in our course book, is taking charge of what the audience sees. Yes, I'm going to talk about the montage now, which our course book also covers. This movie uses a montage to establish Max's character for us. Here's a guy who throws all of his time and energy into just about every extracurricular activity imaginable. Remember, we are shown this, not told. A plethora of point-of-view shots does this as well. Center framing, a total Andersonism, is used in just about every shot. Tight pans, tight zooms, and the occasional slow motion effect is also used. Yeoman does some really cool stuff to show us Max and Mr. Bloom's relationship. A simple camera tilt upwards to Mr. Bloom as he gives his initial speech at the podium reveals him as a potential mentor and friend to Max, while scenes and portraiture from Mr. Bloom's troubled marriage dismantles him. This almost levels out the playing field when they both fall for Miss Cross, in their minds anyway. Max is too young for her, but is outrageously accomplished. Mr. Bloom is a bit closer to her age, but is kind of a disaster of a human being. As for sound, Anderson initially chose tracks that capture a sort of bubbly idealism that also personifies Max to a T. The score features mainly percussive instruments, and the sound is just as crisp and clean as the writing and cinematography. What I'm getting at is this. All of these elements were put together artfully and with a tremendous unity of style. The finished product was nothing short of a masterpiece.